Ask if I never know. If you're gonna leave, I'ma let you go away. I'm tired of the pain. Go away. I'm tired of yesterday.
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Hey, hey, how you doing? I have to make sure I don't get too close tonight so I don't peck the screen.
I'm digging the mask, man.
Yeah, I've just noticed one slight flaw in it, in as far as I can't read the comments at all. Might need a few little windscreen wipers on, you know. So.
You can't read no comments at all?
Well, they're kind of a bit blurry, but you know, if I get them up close, I might be able to spot a few bits. But hey ho, I'm sure we'll survive. The good thing is you can obviously make out what I'm saying, so that's something.
That's a plus, right?
That's right. Yeah, I can tell that our favourite pirate's in the chat. I can see enough for that.
Our favorite bald-headed, mustached, heavy metal pirate.
Yeah. You know, he's a dark horse, is that fella. I mean, he won the Deviant quiz last night.
He did win last night, didn't he?
He did.
He came out of nowhere and won that shit. I was kind of upset about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and my money was on you winning, Sid. I honestly did.
Yeah, sure, Bob, sure. You bet every single time that these quizzes go on that I lose.
Well, you know, you sort of like been a little bit more successful since you had to do your shower scene.
Yeah, I'm done with that shit. I'm done with those forfeits. You got that damn right, Bob. We had a good show last night, didn't we? That was fun.
It was something different, wasn't it?
I tell you, Simon from Kinstrife, that fella, I need to bring him on as a regular.
Yeah, you kind of wonder how much further Simon can go, can't you? I mean, you know,
it's become a challenge now.
It has. I mean, he's weird. He's nuts. He's worn some red stockings and his wife's swimming costume.
Wore his wife's short dress.
Yeah, I mean, we only managed to get you into Daisy Dukes.
And he got him. We was actually seeing those little nuggets there quite a few times last night, wasn't there?
Yeah, the chicken nuggets.
Let's let's say hello to everybody, shall we?
Yeah, good.
Hey, how are you doing, Jeanette? How are you doing? Matter of fact, happy Devil's Night, because we are the night before Halloween. They call it the Devil's Night. Do you know why, Bob? Here in
No, I actually don't. I actually saw a post today on Facebook saying it was the Devil's Night, and I thought, now I've never come across that. But in fairness, over here, I would say that Halloween's been a tradition that we've started to copy more from the Americans than what it's not really something that we did big time once over.
So, like in Detroit, years and years ago, the night before Halloween, they went around and set the city on fire. So that they did this every year, ritually, every single year. They'd catch the city, Detroit City, on fire, Michigan, and
Wow.
the government had to come up with something, some kind of tactic to kind of fight this. So they started pushing the Halloween costumes and the trick or treating and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where the Devil's Night actually came from. They used to set the city on fire.
That's quite interesting. But I mean, this goes to show how Americanized we've got, because last couple of days I watched the old Halloween film, which was made in 1979, and I remember watching a program about that recently where they were saying they only had 2 pumpkins available when they were making the film, right? Well, back when I was a young lad, we didn't see pumpkins at all. Rarely saw them. When we wanted to do Halloween, you'd have to be a turnip. Now, if you think hollow in a pumpkin outside, you try it with a turnip.
No, if I'm not mistaken, there's actually some lore behind the jack-o'-lanterns. They used to set them out inside their houses. Back the lore is that they'd set them out in front of their houses to let them know that for the demons not to come into their home, or the evil spirits that are not allowed, because the veil is thin during this time, they say. And so they lit up jack-o'-lanterns out, so no evil spirits could come into the door, and they'd put some kind of marking on their door as well.
Well, there you go. It's interesting stuff. You can get pumpkins all over the place now. We see them regular. But once over, if there's any other Brits in the chat tonight, I know Jay says, did you see pumpkins years ago? Did you use a turnip? Who knows?
I couldn't imagine that. It's always been pumpkins since I can remember. It's amazing how cultures change from one place to the next.
Well, that's it. It just wasn't the pumpkin just wasn't something we saw over here. Maybe it was a poor neighborhood. Who knows?
So, Bob, guess what, Bob?
What?
We got a hell of a show tonight, Bob. This is our Eve show. This is our last show till Monday, till your show comes up. This is Halloween Eve, our Halloween Eve show. We did one last night with Talking with Demons, and tonight here we are, dressed up again in our scariest, finest costumes. And tonight we got a really fun band on tonight. We got the band BLITZ on tonight. Yes, we are. I'm really looking forward to BLITZ because, as I say, I've reviewed them before on posts. I really like their music. It's got that real 80s quality metal fun sound. I really like their work. And of course, they've recently brought out new albums, so there's lots to talk about. Oh, yeah. So shall we bring him on? Yeah, let's do it. Everybody, please give a warm welcome to our friend Stuart from BLITZ. Welcome to the show, buddy.
How you doing?
Hey, Stuart.
How are you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming on with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I've had this terrible shaving accident, so I've had to kind of, wrap my face in bandages and stuff. It's been terrible. What
ah! It got worse, didn't it? Holy shit!
Put the mask back on, yeah.
Well, if we're taking the mask off, why not? I'm gonna take mine off.
I can breathe now.
Here we go. I'm taking mine off too. Then.
Hey, how we doing that?
There we go. That's
feel good. Liberated.
Because the masks do make you sweat and you can't breathe. Oh, and I hate it. And you can't take a sip of drink while you're wearing them either. Bob's committed.
I'm trying to be committed, trying to have a bit of fun, but I must admit I'm getting more fogged up inside as we go, so even your face is a blur. I mean, there's advantages to that.
So, Stuart,
Yeah.
thank you for hanging out with us tonight, man. So let's talk about Blitz.
Yeah. Anything you want to know, you ask me. We were meant to have Kev here tonight, but he's got the worst phone in the world, so he don't get reception very well. And because we're going from the UK to the USA, I don't know what to say.
We got you here, though, at least, right?
Yeah, I'm the singer. What do you need? What do you need him?
What do you?
You're the star, aren't you, Stuart? So there you go.
Yeah.
Stuart, I've got an important question for you.
You ask. Fire away.
We just discussed that you're a person of a similar age to me and Sid, like you're still a young fella. But I want to know, because you've obviously mentioned that you're from the UK. Going back to your childhood, did you have pumpkins or did you have to use a turnip?
Well, I'm referring to what you were saying earlier. Halloween wasn't as big as when I was a kid as it is now, but it is a big thing now. We are a lot more Americanized now. And no, I can't remember Halloween doing a pumpkin. I did a pumpkin with my kid. When my boy was. I've got a son. His name's Zach.
Mm-hmm.
He's named after the singer out of Rage Against the Machine. Don't hold that against him. And I love Rage Against the Machine. Early Rage Against the Machine. But we spent a lot. I know. I hollowing out turnips. You got me doing it now.
Sweet.
Hollowing out pumpkins and doing all that bit and putting candles in and trick and treating. I did all that with my son, but I never did anything like that with my old man when I was a kid. I never did that. No.
There you go.
There you go.
Backstage, Stuart. Pull that mask back. Pull that mask back out again.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
I made this myself.
Yeah, I want you to tell a little bit the story of what you told us backstage about this mask.
Right. I work in what we call in the UK day services, and I work with children and adults with learning disabilities and physical disabilities. And I run an art group, and so I told them I was coming on the show, and a guy called Ian, I don't know if I can mention his name, I'll just say Ian. Ian helped me design this one, and he said, let's make it look like you've had a really bad shaving accident. So it's kind of a mummy covered in blood. So I'm one of those boring people who love the job. I love working and helping people with disabilities, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it.
How are you doing, Ian? Ian from King Voodoo. How are you doing, buddy? Thanks for swinging by and checking us out tonight. We got Jay saying dog shit on the doorstep. That's about as far as it went. Was not a thing in UK really till the late 90s.
You can see why they go for pumpkins rather than dog shit, can't you?
and leave it to Jace to do it. We go from a really heartfelt message about what Stuart what he does for a living, working with the handicapped and disabled. He made a mask for Halloween and brought it on here, and then we go right to dog shit. Yeah,
well, you got to keep it fluid.
Yeah, we gotta keep the flow going, though.
To keep that flow. Nobody knows where it's gonna end up.
We don't want no stoppage in between. We just want an even flow from heartfelt to straight shit.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the people out here is watching now or later that don't know what your role is in the band. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about the band Blitz.
I sing lead vocal and I play bass for Blitz. And how Blitz got formed was I was in a very angry band, and I won't say the name. And our guitarist Kev, he was in a very angry band. He used to work in a rehearsal studio, and the band I was in would rehearse at his rehearsal studio where he worked. So I'd see him every day, and he'd book us in. And I noticed he had this big Ace Frehley tattoo on one arm and had a Queen tattoo. And I said, man, when I was learning how to play when I was a kid, they were the two bands that I used to sit and put the needle on the record, and I used to learn the little riff, and then I'd go back and put the needle on and learn. And I said, do you know what? I'd love to get back to my roots a little bit. And and get back to that sort of stuff that kind of we listened to that made us want to play in the first place. And he said that's a great idea. So he's got a little home studio. So we got together and did some demoing, wrote some songs together. And I know people will say about us we've got this kind of 80s sound, but we never really aimed to sound retro. We just it came that way because the sort of music we listened to as kids, you know, Queen, Kiss, Van Halen, you know, Black Sabbath, Metallica. It kind of all melded into one. And anyway, like I was saying earlier, I work with kids and adults with disabilities and learning disabilities, and also older people with dementia. Anyway, the point being, a guy come in and he was a one-to-one worker. That means he was supporting somebody with a complex disability. And I knew that I got talking to him about this guy I'm working with, and he says, "Oh, I'm a drummer." I said, "Yeah." So I went to catch his band, and he was in a real hardcore blast beats. I thought, guys, he's such a good drummer, but he's going to hate what we do. But we got together and rehearsed, and we got on so well. And he's quite a bit younger, Matt. But so we've had to educate him in the ways of, you know, earlier forms of metal. He's a massive kind of Pantera, Metallica fan, so he brought something really fresh to the sound. And if anybody listens to Blitz and you listen to the rhythm section, it some of the stuff we do is so you know, Pantera meets kind of meets catchy rock, really. And it just brings that real difference and flavor to what we do that makes us not just all rock's kind of becoming a cliche now, but you know. Anyway, that's what we do.
I think Jace said it kind of in a nutshell, Stuart, and what Blitz music kind of reminds me of right here. Jace says, "No, it's not the same. It just reminds us of the better times."
And that was our target, really, when we got together. You know, we got together with the whole idea of let's go on stage and put a real rock show together, and something that you know, people can have a beer, come and watch us have a fucking great time, and then just, I've had a great time tonight, and buzz it. That's what the big target is. I know it's not metal at all, but there's a great documentary on Netflix that I saw last night about James Brown, and it's made by Mick Jagger, and it's all about the career of James Brown, who, God, what an entertainer, you know. And he's talking about how he gets a crowd going, and he's talking about, and you can see where all those kind of the David Lee Roths and, you know, all the Paul Stanleys and all the big rock showmen and frontmen, you can kind of see where they stole it from in a way. Well, no, they were influenced. And I watched the thing about James Brown, and I thought perhaps we could do a bit of that as well. There's nothing wrong with hardcore. We all love the Panteras, and we all love the Metallicas, and we all love the Mastodons. And there's always the great thing about metal is there's all them shades within it, and you can choose and you can pick. You know, what if one day you want to be listening to some hardcore thrash, you can, and the next day if you want to be listening to something a little bit more melodic and Cheap Trick, you can. And that's what I love about metal music, really.
I think, Bob. What do you think, Bob? What are you thinking of there? I mean,
I'm thinking it's time we heard some.
I was thinking the same thing. I think it's time to hear some Blitz.
Exactly. Let's show everybody what they're about.
All right, so I'm going to play everybody for you. This is Blitz. We're hanging out with Stuart, the singer and bass player of Blitz. This is Into the Fire, and I'm Sid, and that my masked friend over here, that's Bob Bones, the medicine man. We'll be right back, guys. This is Blitz with their video and song, Keep Moving On. Never too late.
Never too late, my friend.
That was a fantastic track. Great
Yeah,
stuff, Stuart.
I love that song. The video is absolutely top notch, buddy.
Yeah, we use a guy called Jay Hillier who worked very closely with a band called Black Star Riders, which has got Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy in it, and he also works for a band called Wayward Sons, who the lead singer is a guy called Toby Jepson, who was in a band called Little Angels, Little Angels had some hits back in the day and did quite well. So he's got a good rep. And I think the place where we recorded it is at a place called Real Time Live in Chesterfield, which is kind of the place where Blitz kind of cut our teeth as a live act. And it was we just love being there. It's great. We get a great crowd. We're doing a Blitzmas special there, and we're going to have a big balloon drop at the end. Big balloon drop at the end, and we're going to have make it a real party. So yeah, love it.
That's what I like. I mean, you do throw a lot of fun into your performances, and you put a lot of thought into everything you do. Because I think you have a fantastic merch line. I've seen some of the stuff you've been doing with getting the printed record decks mats. And various things and mats. Yeah, that's it. That's the word I'm looking for. So you put a lot of thought and effort into all this, don't you? So
I think what we wanted to do was, we wanted it to be keep it interesting for ourselves as well. And I'm a big comic book geek, and if you look at the T-shirts, come on a minute, we've got a lot of different designs, and that came about. The guy who does the artwork for us is a guy called Dave Hurst, and he's a big comic book geek. He's a big Jack Kirby fan, and we kind of relate on artwork straight away. I want it to look vivid and blah blah. So it all ties together, you know. We're quite aware that we don't look a lot like the caricatures, but we just wanted it. We wanted it to be kind of interesting, and we wanted it to be a form of escapism that you could lose yourself in. You know, when I was a kid, the bands that captured my imagination the most, were kind of early Alice Cooper, early Kiss. You know, the Ramones. There was all these bands that they had a real sense of escape from reality. I mean, I'm from a place in the UK called Mansfield, which is a mining village, and really it was that armpit of the arsehole of the universe. Really, I mean, there wasn't a lot going on down this end of the world, you know. So I'd buy the music magazines, and I'd be reading them, and I'd be seeing all these bands in the States that just looked more interesting, you know. A lot of the bands we have like free that all you bands in the States cited as influences. But when you're a kid, you want something to jump out and attack you. So I remember going to W.H. Smith's and picking up when I was 11 years old, and I had my pocket money that I'd saved up to buy an album. And the first thing I picked up was ABBA, Voulez-Vous, and I thought, oh no, I don't like the look of that. And then I saw Kiss Destroyer. So I picked Kiss Destroyer up, and it's got this real gritty painted fantasy artwork where they look like demons on it. You know, it just made you go, wow, you know, as an 11-year-old kid. So I said to the lady behind the counter, can I have this? And she tried to talk me out of it and tried to talk me into buying ABBA. So, you know, mentally I'm thinking, fuck off. So I really wanted this album. So in the end, I got Destroyer and I got it home, and that was the album back in the day that kind of got me wanting to be in a band. And it's hard to think about Kiss like that, but back in the 70s, you know, this is kind of 77, 76, they were just badass back then, you know. It wasn't the thing you see now, you know. They were quite, you know, they were every mother's nightmare back then. And so we all bought into this Kiss thing, and that's kind of what springboarded me into wanting to be a musician. Obviously, then I got into real music and developed a real taste in music. But they were the band that made me actually want to pick up a guitar. I mean, they looked like superheroes. It was a good place to escape to. That's what I'm saying.
I like that about you because I'm a comic book fan as well. And that was one of the first things that I noticed about when I got introduced to the band was the artwork on the covers of the album. I was like, damn, this shit looks like this is some good ass artwork. I mean, I was like, this is some Marvel DC Comics kind of shit going on there.
Yeah, I mean, the first artist we used on the first album is a guy called Richie Adam Reynolds, and it all started because he owns a small comic shop in town, and I get all my comics from him. And we got chatting about stuff. And when BLITZ was formed, I said, would you start it off? You know, so we talked about the idea of the caricatures and how we wanted it to be kind of like a comic strip, and he got it straight away. Then we went, because Richie got so popular and got so many commissions, we could only get him now and again, so we had to get another artist, which is the guy I was talking about originally who works for us now, Dave Hurst. Again, great artist, and I'm very aware of his work, so we got him on board and he took over. But we've kept the template of the kind of characters and the way we want it to look. We've got some great stuff coming out as well. We've got some. We're working on stuff. We did a Christmas single last year. Tell me if I'm talking too much. Am I talking too much?
No, carry on. Keep it going.
We did a Christmas single last year that we donated all the money to cancer research.
I did notice that on your guys' YouTube page. I noticed that song on there. So yeah, I do know what you're talking about with that Christmas song. And
we wanted it to sound like a real. We didn't want to pussy out and it to have choirs, and we didn't want it to sound like, you know, that. I'm not going to say a band, but we didn't want choirs on it and things. We wanted to keep true to what we did. So it's a big kind of Slade-esque anthem. And we did really well. We raised a lot of money for cancer research. And we're re-releasing, this is the first time I've mentioned we're doing this anywhere. So I don't know whether I meant to say this, but we're re-releasing the track this year. And we have picked a different charity, which is mental health awareness. So we're gonna be doing everything. All the money is going to go towards mental health charity. So the idea, but to make it different, we've had it remixed, and we've got a female singer doing the second verse called Annabella, and she's from a band called Circus 66. Circus 66. I don't know if you're aware of their work. They're a really, really good band, and we get on with them really, really well. And we're
we just had them on the show about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Just a great bunch of guys.
Fantastic.
And she's a great vocalist, so we get on really well. So she went and she's singing the second verse, and she's singing up there with me. We've had it all remixed, and we're gonna put that out at Christmas time, and hopefully again raise some money and do a bit of good in the world, you know, for mental health.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Well, the more we can do to help promote that, just let us know.
Yeah, that's been one of my missions too. For ever since I started this was bring more to suicide, mental health, you know, addictions, just bringing awareness to certain things. And one of my passions is suicide, and mental health awareness has always been a big thing for me.
I think everybody in their lifetime is going to either encounter this or they're going to know somebody who's suffered with it. And I think if you can do something a little bit of good, like that, the cancer thing was, I've got a wife who's got a thing called follicular lymphoma, which is a form of blood cancer. So we did that for you know, that's what triggered the idea. And this year we've got friends who've had problems with mental health through COVID and things. So we thought, well, you know, again, it's something close to the heart. So that's what we're going to do. And the whole idea of getting Annabelle on there to give it a different flavour. I think every year, if we can pick a different charity and donate all the money to charity, and we can do a little bit of good with it. And what a great thing to do! What a great thing to do at Christmas!
It speaks volumes about the character of you and the rest of the band and the people that are working with you guys that do this music. Because I mean, not everybody wants to do it. You know what I mean? So it speaks volumes of your character. In other words,
I think being in a band, especially at this point, for me, means so much more than, you know, I'm competing with nobody but myself. And it does sound like a massive cliche, but we really do love what we do. We really do. And the only people we compete with is ourselves. We just want to be able to, no matter what happens, we always say, we want to look back and say, oh man, we loved what we did. You know, we look at this, look at what we did, and look at we've done some good. I know that sounds like a horrendous cliche. It's the most unmetal thing you can say, really. You know, I should be talking about, you know, nuking the world or something. But I feel the Blitz vibe has always been that. You know, we wanted to be the other side. And again, when we were talking about metal earlier, the great thing about rock music is if you listen to the single we just did, Keep Moving On, which is all about no matter what life throws at you, you know, don't look back, keep going forward. You know, it's a simple message, but it's something that's just as important as anything, really. You know, going forward.
Bravo to you, man. Bravo to what you're doing especially for the charity song. I cannot wait to hear the new song you guys are going to be doing for this charity this Christmas. I'm looking forward to that for sure. Christmas and Christmas are like my two favorite times of the year. I love scaring the shit out of people, and I love giving back to people as well. Yeah,
too. Oh, scare them into giving back.
Yeah, I'm going to scare the shit out of them. I pull my 357 and give me all your candy, fool.
Empty your fucking pockets.
So let's play another video for everybody, and we'll come back and chat some more with you, Stuart. What do you think?
Oh, that'd be cool, man.
That's a cracking idea, and I can slip into a mask I can see out of.
So you guys are watching Into the Fire. I'm Sid, my buddy Bob, hanging out with Stuart down here from Blitz, the singer and bass player, and this is their song video for 1 in a Million. Be right back, guys.
Tonight's the night we spread our wings and fly. It's too late to turn back now. Running through the city, forever homeward bound. The fire and the flame, whisper your name, escape while you can.
What another great song and another great video, guys.
Fantastic.
Cheers, dude. I mean, again, that we filmed that one at the same place we filmed the other one. It's just a totally different vibe, and yeah,
It's a good fucking song, is what it is.
yeah. It's
You got Jace's wife here going nodding to the track as she's sitting home watching the show. Ina from Perrin, she's like, "It's awesome."
You know what the thing is? If you listen to all of Blitz's songs, they all quality like that.
They are.
So.
We work, as far as songwriting's concerned, we work in a kind of a weird way, because Kev, the guitar player, will do a demo, and he'll send like a kind of rough idea for a song to me, and I'll kind of play with it, and then put some vocals to it, and then we'll demo it. And then Matt comes along, and we take it into a rehearsal room with the demo, and then we'll play with the demo, take it to bits again. So we're working quite, you can do that now. You can email each other ideas for songs, and you can email each other vocal ideas, and we're kind of fluid like that. We've never been a band that spends eight months in a rehearsal room writing. We're writing continuously. I mean, if I said to you now that we're about halfway through the third album writing it now, I think by the middle of the summer, because we've got a lot of live work on at the minute, but I think by the middle of the summer we'll be about ready for album number 3, I think.
Great stuff. Because you've just done a live album as well. What was the inspiration to make you go for that?
This is the cover to the live album. I don't know if I can get it on. It's called Take No Prisoners. I don't know if you can see that. That's the artwork we were talking about. I don't know if it's a bit too dark. But so the album's called Take No Prisoners, and we recorded that over we had some guys coming around with a desk with us for about a year on and off, and we kept recording different shows, and unfortunately a lot of the shows that were recorded have closed due through the COVID thing. They've closed down now. A place called Albert's in Nottingham, which is the majority of that show. The Maze in Nottingham, which was, again, we're a Nottingham based band. That's where we're from in the UK, the home of Robin Hood and that. So we take from the rich and we give music to the poor. But we recorded we had all these live recordings. So then we took them in, we kind of smoothed them out a little bit. We didn't do that live thing where we changed things. What we did was, there's little bits of recordings where the bass drum might have been clicking a bit at a gig. So we used another performance where the bass drum sounds better and things like that. We had enough to cherry pick. But I'm really happy with that. If anybody wants to check us out, we've got 3 albums. The first album's called Welcome to the Rock Show. That's available on our Facebook if you want to get it and help us support original bands doing original stuff. The second album's called Fight to Survive. And the new album, which is obviously features tracks from both of those, is called Take No Prisoners. And that got released about 4 months ago. And we've just had such a good response to it. There's some fantastic reviews, and we just can't be thankful. Not humbled, and we're just lucky guys, really. We always said we wanted to be the kind of band that play our own stuff, and we just can keep it rolling. We can pay to record, and we can pay to do merch, and we can keep the whole thing kind of rolling. And that's where we're getting towards that point more and more, where we've never made any money because we stick it straight back in the band, and we're getting commissions for artwork, and we're doing, like we talked about, the merch while you were playing the track. What we're working on, all this stuff. I mean, we're even working on these coasters, these silver. I don't know if you can see those too well, but coasters. There's Kev. There you can see and there's Matt, and like the key rings and things like that. And we just want to keep it interesting, just the BLITZ key rings, and we've been constantly working on stuff and putting. We've never made any money. Every penny we've made's gone straight back into the band. There's a big fantasy about, this. People might look at the videos and think, wow, well, that video we got a real the videos. We get a real bargain on it, and we did really well. And we gigged continuously to get the dosh to pay for that. So we've never really made a dime. We played last night in a place in the UK called Nantwich, which I've never been in my life. It's a strange little corner of the UK, and but we played with a Kiss tribute band called Dressed to Kill, and we had a great night. And the whole idea of playing with tribute bands is, it gives us a chance to sell merch, and plus we have a great time anyway. But we get to keep the ball rolling for BLITZ. It's just this thing that keeps itself going, and that's what the target was from day one. If we could do that, we'd be happy. If we could play our own songs and get paid in this kind of environment, you're a lucky guy, aren't you? Really, you're a lucky guy if you can turn up and make the money thing. It's not really important. The only reason it's important is so we can think, wow, we've got a studio, we're writing the album, third album. Wouldn't it be great if we can go back? We recorded the last 2 albums at a place called Doncaster called Access Studios with a guy called Matt Ellis, who's responsible for the Massive Wagons, who are really coming up in the ranks now. They're supporting the Darkness on tour. A great live band, and he really gets us. This Matt Ellis at Access Studio really gets kind of the BLITZ idea, so we work really well with him. But these things ain't cheap, you want to go into a good studio with a good guy who knows his stuff, you've got to pay. And we that's the reason we do merch and we do shirts. It's we enjoy it and we love it, and we want to be creative about it, and we want our stuff to stick out. We want people to kind of lose themselves in it. Just that thing we were talking about when I was a kid, with the Kiss experience when I was that made such an impact on me, because to me they were larger than life characters, and there was somewhere this kid from a mining town could lose himself in, and I could kind of get to this other world and think and see, and it gave me somewhere to escape into. And I think that's pretty healthy for a young man, to give you a dream and give you an idea that there's more to life than this little place where you're from,
Right.
It's quite interesting, isn't it, what you're saying about the image? Because I remember as a young lad going into a record store, and I could spend an hour sort of leafing through the different records, and you'll catch an image that you think, oh, that looks interesting. So you'll pick the record out and have a look at it, and sometimes you'd buy it off the cover. And I could imagine people doing that with BLITZ. Unfortunately, we don't have as many record stores where you can go and actually page through it now, so you have to try and get that image out in a different way, don't you?
We did do limited runs of vinyl for both albums, first and second. What we did was people we pre-ordered, and then with the money from the pre-order, we basically bought the vinyl, and we did limited runs on both. So I'm lucky that I've got the first and the second album on vinyl. So, but we had to do it on very limited runs, because everybody, it's that great thing where everybody goes, I love it, get me one. And then you say that, it's going to be 15 quid for a vinyl, even if you walk into your record shop, So we did do it, and we'd love to do it with Take No Prisoners, but we'll see. We'll see if we can get to that point again. But again, like you're saying, flipping through vinyl in your record store, that was a way you spend your Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Waiting for your mates in the mall or the shopping centre, as we call it. And and you'd be leafing through all the albums and thinking, yeah, this looks good. Yeah.
So, Bob, let's play another video by these guys. You want to?
I think so, and then I'm going to make myself really ugly and take all the masks off and actually have a breather for a change.
You almost made it through the whole show, buddy. Look at you. I could see.
Well, we did advertise that we were going to do a bit of a Halloween special, so I had to try and make an effort for us, didn't I?
I made an effort yesterday, and me and Stuart started to show off with our masks. So we did our part at the end of the deal.
Yeah,
you're going above and beyond for us, and we appreciate it, Bob. We do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and now I've got to drink.
This is Into the Fire. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're hanging out with the band BLITZ. This is Stuart, right down there.
Nope.
And we're going to be playing their video, their lyric video for Dance on Fire. We'll be right back, everybody.
Solid.
Right?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, we like to cover the full gamut of metal. We like to go from the sugar to the spice. I think that's what we do.
It just gets your foot tapping, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got this weird thing where we can go and play with some hardcore bands and we get on really well, and they kind of get what we do. And there's never been that thing where we've been faced with that, because we kind of get associated with a little bit of good time rock and roll, which is what we do. But we do lots. We write such a diverse lot of songs. You'd be shocked, everything from like country and western. And our drummer Matt, his dad's is a country and western singer. His name's Hank Davis, I think. And he was like a country guy, so he grew up with all this kind of country and western influences. And driving back in the car last night from the gig, he was telling me all about how he grew up listening to Hank Williams and Hank Williams Jr. And it's just, why not? Good's good,
Well, it is. I mean, I have a very wide record collection range, sort of country. You mentioned earlier when we were chatting about Miles Davis. I've got a bit of jazz and stuff like that. Any musical influence is interesting, and it's good for bands that are more hardcore to mix with different types, because I remember going to gigs to see Anthrax and them being supported, I think, by Living Colour. And I don't know if you know Living Colour, but when they came on, they were totally different to Anthrax. I'm thinking, oh, what's this? But it introduces you to a different sound.
Exactly, and all them different influences, you can pull them into whatever, I mean, that's what I like about Mastodon, really. Mastodon, they get labelled with that prog rock thing, but they've got lots of texture to their sound. Really, really good at what they do. I think you've got to find what you're good at, no matter what that is, and kind of say, this is our thing, regardless of, this is what we do well. You finding your own ground, I think, is really important for a band. Finding your own path. It's really,
That's it. You're right, Jace. Cult of Personality. That was the track from Living Colour.
Yeah, great video.
Let's have a little bit of fun before we gotta go for the night. You want to?
Yeah, cool.
As you as a kid, you celebrated Halloween, right? Did you dress up for Halloween?
Yeah. I think the closest I got was it was an excuse for me and my mates to dress up as Kiss when we were about 11.
Now, what is the worst? What is the worst costume you've had to put on?
Peter Criss. Nobody wanted to be Peter Criss. Guy's a fucking cat. You don't want to be a cat. It's like saying you're a pussy.
Well, now that we
love you, Peter. Love you, Peter. Don't take it personally, but even you did. Even Peter Criss didn't want to be Peter Criss.
I mean, when you look at that makeup, it's sort of like it was a bit of a PR mistake, that one, wasn't it? You would have thought that they could have come up with something better than that for the guy, wouldn't you?
You got the space ace, the demon, the sex god, and the cat. Who came up with the cat? And everybody must have secretly been saying behind that guy's back, he's a real pussy. He's a pussy. Everybody must have been calling him a pussy all the time. Who's laughing though? He's a rich guy.
What is one of the worst things that we all have, like Halloween time? We've all done our little Halloween pranks. What are some of your Halloween pranks that you've done as a kid?
Oh God!
Did you leave shit like Jace does? Did you leave shit on the front porch and catch it on fire and ring the doorbell? Did you paper somebody?
Oh man, that's a real tough one. What I used to do, I've got a younger sister. She's about 5 years younger than me, and I used to really shit her up. And I used to tie fishing wire onto the end of the quilt on a bed, and then I used to pull it slowly from the other room and tell her a ghost had done it. I've done that. I made a full scarecrow, and I put a noose around its neck, and I pushed it above the door, then shouted to come in the room, and it fell and hung. I've done that. My sister would have the best stories about me because I used to spend, it's a wonder she's not in, a nervous wreck because I used to make her life hell when she was a kid. I mean, in the name of fun, yeah.
Okay, so last question. It's the most important question of Halloween. What is your favorite Halloween candy?
Oh, man. Candy. Sweets. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, man. I don't know. Cadbury's chocolate. Anything that's Cadbury's chocolate. I love New York. I've been to New York about 5 times, and I love New York. It's one of my favorite places to visit in the world, really. It's just on fire. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's really exciting, electric place to visit. But when I went there, everyone said, try Hershey chocolate, and I don't think it holds a candle to Cadbury's though, mate. I don't.
So let's talk about your prop there that you've been flying by, whizzing by the screen. Because Jason had a question for you. Was that the ball from Phantasm?
It is. Let me show you my balls. I have one big ball and one small ball.
First time this happened, Bob, is it?
Yeah, we've heard that said before, normally by Simon from Kinstrife, but when he says about I'll show you my balls, he means his balls.
They're usually hanging out of his trouser hammock.
Yeah.
I've got the big one and I've got the small. Yeah, Phantasm had a big effect on me when I was a kid. First movie ever, snuck in with my mates when we were 14. We snuck into the local cinema and we sat there in the dark and watched this movie, and it scared us to death. And it's quite funny. If you watch Phantasm now, there's probably scarier things in Harry Potter. But I just remember being really transfixed by this whole idea of this kind of tall man and boy. And later on, I had a mate who went to the States to a Comic-Con and got me Angus's, the guy who plays the tall man, Angus Scrim, got me his autograph, and he got me Reggie Bannister's autograph, and I've got those. I'm not allowed to put the Angus Scrim one up because my wife claims he looks a bit like he should be. He could be hanging around a schoolyard or something. He looks a bit odd.
Stuart, thank you, man, for hanging out with us tonight, man. I appreciate it.
I loved it.
I appreciate you really honestly hanging out with us. I know Bob and I have been looking forward to this. We've been fans of you guys since we've been introduced through Forge, A&P, which thank you. I know Carly and Nath, they introduced us through their introduced the music through their show, Sound Pylon. That's how I initially got introduced to you guys. But yeah.
I'd just love to say thank you to Craig and Forge MP and Carly and Nath, and everybody to do that organisation, because if people knew what Forge are doing to push new acts and the blood, sweat and tears that guy and his team put into it, it's incredible. And regardless of what, ever happens to Blitz, I just think that Forge A&P just deserve, they deserve everything. They deserve some sunshine for what they're doing, We just totally appreciate everything they've done for us and everything they've done for every band under their roster. And we wouldn't be able to do half of what we do without their support. And I just thought I'd get that in, yeah.
But that's great, yeah. So before you go as well, then Stu, where can everybody find your stuff and buy your stuff?
Right, we are on Spotify, but if you go on our Facebook page as well, you can track us down on there, and there's links to Spotify, and there's links to Bandcamp, which will obviously be sooner you go Bandcamp. And the one thing I didn't get to show you was in the actual CD is the detail we give to the booklet and the lyrics and the artwork. It carries on because we want that absolutely, immersive experience where you can lose yourself in it. It's all in the booklet, So I think it's important to have these hard copies. I love an hard copy anyway, but so if you go on our Facebook page, I'll tell you how to get to Bandcamp. It'll tell you how to get us track us down on Spotify, and just give us a like and spread the word. And that's the world we live in now. It's just great when somebody gives you a nod and digs what you do and gets it.
Well, I posted your Facebook link a few times in chat, so if anybody says they can't find it, you're lying. It's going to be posted again before we finish tonight, so go check them out.
Thanks a lot, guys. You're doing a great job spreading the word, and you've got a great show. And we are people like you out there, you know.
Buddy, we appreciate you taking your time out of your day, hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. I know after last night you had that show, you had that gig last night, so I know you're probably pretty tired. So we do appreciate you taking the time out and hanging out with us tonight. Oh
no, man, it's an absolute privilege. We just love it. I ain't a ham, I'm the whole pig. I can go forever. Tonight, guys, be sure to follow the Blitz everywhere on social media. Find them here on Facebook. Just punch in Blitz. You'll find them. We'll have the links in here in the comments as well. Guys, we will see you next week. Right, Bob? We got Talking with Demons next Friday.
We have.
Saturday, we got the band Perceived is going to be on the show. And they're going to be performing a live acoustic performance for us for the kickoff of November.
Yeah, if you haven't come across Perceived, a band from Texas, absolutely brilliant. You don't want to miss it.
Outside of that, guys, be sure to check us out on InnerDemonMedia.com, all of our radio shows. You'll be hearing bands like Blitz playing on the station, so come check us out. We got new shows coming out daily, so come out and check us out on Inner Demon Media. Guys, you guys have a great night. We will see you next Friday. And we'll end tonight's show with the last video for Blitz. This is We're All Right. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, you. Thanks again. Bye now.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Let me tell you one thing now, my friends. There's no one tougher. A storm's coming, no time night. You're gonna drown, swim against the tide. Got a rock and roll heart, you'll never tear apart. Alright, just running for free, so hold on tight. Well, alright, solid go, heartbeat of Saturday night. Don't be afraid, just be amazed. This is the world we've made. And every time they try to knock us down, we're up for the